Okay, so we've already installed the StressX add-in, and we can see it here in the StressX tab with these three buttons. And we'll go ahead and just try to create our first shape. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to create something similar to this, where it's a skin angle section where they mate in the midpoint of each of these rectangles. And so how are we going to do this? We're going to use a rectangle section for the skin and an angle for the angle, obviously. Okay, so let's just get started. So the first step that we'll need to do is go to the section manager up here, and we'll just add new section. So here it is. So there's nothing really going on yet. But this is the basis for everything that we need. You can see this is pretty important. The in this box up here, the section ID is stored as a name for this shape. And so this one's CS001, complex shape 001. The next step that we'll need to do is we have to create materials. So you have to create materials before you can start creating elements, and I'll show you why. Also, you have to have this activated in order to do anything, because it needs to know what section you're working with. So the reason that we need to create materials is that you have to assign a material to each element. So as you can see here, there are no materials created, so there's nothing to select. So you can't create a shape yet. So we'll go and create a couple of materials. And you'll need the elastic modulus, the shear modulus, and the Poisson's ratio to create the material. The tool doesn't really use the shear modulus or the Poisson's ratio, so you don't really need to focus too much on those. I'm working in these are all in PSI, so you can work in whatever units that you'd like, as long as you stay consistent. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a material. Oh yeah, select your section, and we'll create a new material. So AL 7050. You can just click in these boxes and select the range that you want. And then we'll pick this neon green. And then we'll go ahead and create another material. Remember to select the box. And you can see AL 7050 is already in here. Oops. Go ahead and select these. And we'll make this purple. Okay. Okay, so if you select on this section again, and you go to create new material, you can see that these are now populated. So first we'll try to create our skin section, which will just be a rectangle. So what we'll need is we'll need a width, a thickness, And then also we need to define this point. So upper middle is going to be point D. So let's go back and fill these out. Skin. So we'll need the coordinates for that point. We'll also need angle of rotation. This one's going to be 0, so that doesn't really matter too much, but you still need to populate it. A width and a thickness. And then we'll do the same thing for the angle. So xp, yp, theta. And let's see, for the angle we'll need this b1, b2 thicknesses, and this fillet radius. So b1, t1, b2, t2, and radius. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and make this 0, 0, 0, because there's no rotation. Make it 5, 2, 5. And then we'll just go ahead and make this one the same, because we're going to try to line up these points. And we'll make B1 a little bit less than B, so we'll call it 4, 2, 5. And then maybe we'll have it 5 inches tall, 0.3 inches thick for the upper leg, and 0.5 for the radius. Underline these. Just kind of make it look a little bit prettier. Okay, so now we're ready to create these shapes. So we'll select our section again, create new element, and we'll create our rectangle first. So we'll make this 70, 50, it's fine. And then, like I said before, we'll choose point D. XP, we'll do the same thing that we did for the materials. Select the input box and then select your range. We'll populate these. These mirror choices down here we'll go into in a little bit, but basically you can just mirror the shape about your point. So yeah, so we can add shape now. And there it is. And we'll go ahead and add our angle now. So click on your section, create new material, select angle, make this one 70, 75, and then we'll try to line up this point K with that point D. So we'll do K, 0, 0, theta, B1, and radius. And we'll add the shape. So there it is. It's kind of Barney colors, but gets the idea across. All right, so yeah, so now your shape is tied to these parameters, and you can update, and everything populates. Make that thicker, make it thinner. We can rotate the shape. Remember, it's in radians, so we'll do 15 degrees. It'll rotate the shape. Okay. Okay, so let's go back into this element manager, we'll modify one of these elements, and this one will be easiest. So let's mirror this. So if you hit mirror Y, what it'll do is this point K that we defined right here in the middle, it'll actually flip the shape about that point. So if we hit add shape, it'll flip it. So and flip it back. Okay, so that's pretty close, pretty good looking. Maybe this is a little bit longer. Looks a little bit closer. Okay, so the visual feedback's great, but in order to actually do any analysis with it, we need to actually get some section properties out of this. So we can get our bending stiffness properties, our CG coordinates. We can get area properties, principal axis properties, inertia properties. Pretty much, if you've ever used any of the last version of this tool, pretty much the same stuff. So let's go ahead and EI1P. These are the principal axis properties, and your angle of rotation there. So, okay, so this next part's a little tricky. Our formula will be equals EIXX. Pretty straightforward so far. Then we'll need to put in a parameter for our section, and it'll actually be your section ID CS001, and that'll match up. That'll match up with this guy up there. So CS001 calculate, and then we need the string of the section ID. So we'll put CS001 inside of quotations, and we'll hit enter. Widen that up, and there's your EIXX. So if we do this for the remainder, oops, go back, YY, XY, oops. XCG, YCG, and this one will be theta P. And actually, we can do degrees of this if you want to see the solution in degrees. So there you have it. Yeah, so from here you can do your bending stress equations and all of that stuff. We'll be expanding these these function libraries in the near future to include uh, fiber locations. So that way you can pull out this location just by typing in an element name. Okay, so yeah, so if we start changing these, our properties will update along with it. So it's pretty fast. I think performance-wise, it's about 4 milliseconds per calculation, so it's not too bad. So yeah, so that was our first shape. Hope you're able to follow along.